Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome. Y'all know what this is, man. Sparking conversation, y'all. This is one of the dopest podcasts out, why? Because you know what we do, man. We talk about that cash crop, and we talk about everything around it, and that's that cannabis business. One of the reasons why we talk about it all the time is because, well, on this podcast is why it's the main basis of this podcast is because this is a particular plant that helps so many people with so many different things, but it's also a plant that has been plaguing our community and those that look like us for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, from people having to deal with being incarcerated behind it, or people having to deal with life choices that they, from having records or any of these things that hinder them from moving forward by having something that really helps them. And that's the problem, because even though we talk about CBD here, cannabis plant CBD, we also talk about THC too. Why? Because it does have a purpose. All right. And so I always like to give y'all a fun fact when it comes to that on how it helps. When everybody says, "Yo, how does hemp help? How does marijuana help?" Blah 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 blah. So I like to break it down and let y'all know exactly how it works and how it helps you. You know what I'm saying? These are called terpenes, and that's one of the things we've been talking about for a while on the show, right, B? All right. So before we get into that, I gotta give a shout out to my sponsors, which is Green Life CBD.
Yes, sir.
All right, which is everything is available, even edibles and the whole nine. And then we have Moviendo Hookah, which y'all know is a mobile hookah vendor who will come to your party, set up any event, your business establishment where you want people to be able to relax and chill. Of course, we got different strains for different moods. Relief, pain, anxiety, depression. We have a strain for all of that. Right? So, I also have some friends with me, you know what I'm saying? And I have this queen with me right here, which is official business owner. I love to have business owners on, especially black women or women of, we like to call them, everybody call them minorities, but I don't like to call us minorities. We really the majority faced with minority information, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So, please tell the people who you are.
Hi everybody, my name is Startisha. I am the owner of 50 Shades of Body, which is a body contouring studio. 50 Shades of White, where we do teeth whitening, and successful events where I have party goods for any type of occasion, tables, chairs, speakers. We provide all of the decor for parties and events as well. So I have a lot going on.
A whole lot. Y'all know my man right here to my left.
What's good? It's your boy B.
Alright, y'all already know how he get down, one of my partners in the business. Also later on, we're going to have Yessie Rod going to join us. Of course, she's going to come in a little later on and join us. I just wanted to give y'all really quick exactly what the new terrapin is today. I'm going to try my best to pronounce it correctly, but a lot of these names that they make up for these things, it's a little bit left. They have all these consonants in it, but we're gonna try to make the best of it. We're going to read slow. As soon as my stuff come up, we're going to read slow. But until then, when you said your body contouring,
Yes.
that's the new venture that you're in right now, right?
Getting the women, curves and
Giving them the
slim in the waist and nice in the,
Oh, we're gonna definitely get into that because we know that women been putting their bodies together a little bit underground, right.
So everything's safe, 100% safe, and non-invasive treatments, non-surgical, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
basement jobs going on.
Yeah.
So, real quick before we get into all of that, I want to talk about this particular terpene today. And what is terpenes? Terpenes is, for those of you that are just tuning in or whatever, terpenes are the essential oils that are created inside the cannabis plant. So each strain of cannabis has a certain terpene, which is an essential oil that the plant naturally produces, and this will give you the benefits of health, whether it's the anxiety, whether it's the depression, whether it's the appetite, whether you're having seizures, whether it's epilepsy, whether it's high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever. These terpenes that are in certain strains are the combination that gives you the medicine that you need, not just based on the actual CBD, which is the pain portion of the plant. Just to give y'all a little bit. So this terpene we're going to talk about this week is it's called bisabolol. See, I had to add that L at the end. I would try to roll it like I'm half Spanish, but then I have Spanish people in the room right now, and they probably will bust out laughing if I try to roll this L like I was getting ready to do. But of course, y'all know I'm going to spell it, so don't worry about it. I'm going to put that up there. So, let me tell y'all what this particular one is. Alright, so it's also known as levomenol, which is another form of a type of what you call alcohol, rubbing alcohol, or for disinfectant or whatever. But it's a fragrant chemical compound produced by the chamomile flower, all right, and other plants such as candela trees that's made in Brazil, all right, and of course in different cannabis strains. All right, so the health benefits of this particular terpene is anti-inflammatory, anti-irritant, antioxidant, antimicrobial, and it also will help you with things like sinuses. All right, so that's what this particular terpene does. So when you ask, okay, somebody asks you anti-inflammatory, how can I smoke or consume a certain type of plant and then my knees are not swollen no more, my ankles, for those people who deal with that. That's how that works. So different terpenes, different things, that's what it does, all right? Cool, so that's the fun fact. So, we gotta talk about how you be building these bodies out here, yo. Word up, because we know for the longest time, right, B, that women have been infatuated with changing the way they look.
Yeah.
Right? For some shape, form, or fashion. Sometimes it could be based on self-esteem. Mm-hmm. It could be based on culture. It also can be based on peer pressure.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Social
saying?
media.
Social media. A lot of imagery going on social media. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. But, so tell me, since we know that women have been getting surgeries and shots and all these other things to try to enhance their body, tell the people what makes your particular service different.
Well, nothing illegal, for one.
Right.
Everything is non-invasive. So it's no surgery, no downtime. You can come in, get a 30-minute butt vacuum.
A vacuum?
So it's an actual machine that you would place on your bottom, and it's going to suction your butt to the level of where it's going to look like it's actually protruding. Of course, it's over sessions. Some women do see results in one session.
Really?
Especially the women who are more smaller. Yeah.
So this machine sucks that strong?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you got to keep going?
Yeah, we recommend at least 3 to 6 for average results.
Okay. For average results. So 3 to 6
for someone normal.
sessions?
Someone who may require a lot more sessions because maybe they're not that shapely, so they may need some more sessions.
Oh, so this thing sucks a shape to it too? Because you know how some women are kind of square.
What it does, we use a cavitation machine to actually break down the fat. Let's say they have some fat areas in their, little chichos, as we call them. Right. So we use that machine to actually break down the fat, and then we have a suction vacuum to actually try to mold and shape and bring those fat cells to the bottom. And then we put these big, large cups on, and that stays on for about 30 minutes, and it's actually just kind of pulling.
Wow. I'm sure that's one of your clients right now trying to set up an appointment. Yeah. I'm sure these women love to get a vacuum on them, right?
They do.
They be loving that vacuum,
yeah. That's when I first started the teeth whitening, that took off, but now the teeth whitening's kind of on hold, and the butt vacuum is what's.
So they don't even care about their teeth no more. They just
so I had to put it together. Like, listen, we'll do a little
50-50 special.
Yeah, special.
Oh, word!
You have your teeth whitened,
right?
And your, theory.
So
nice.
does it? So basically, you just focus on the booty right now. So
no,
does it suck breast too?
We do breast. Yeah, we do
with
breast
the machine.
With the machine, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So all y'all women out here who are very sensitive around the nipple area, if you go to one of her sessions, no, I probably shouldn't say that. It probably will help you with being able to deal with. Oh God, I forgot about something else. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. So yeah, so right now it's the trend.
Yes.
All right. So we know
everyone wants to look good, for whatever reasons. Just some people just want to just look good. Period. And especially with all the social media going on, being in the eye, depending on, some women are in the field of dancing and,
right.
exotic dancing, so they want to keep themselves up. A lot of women are into the gym, but just can't achieve those particular curves that they're looking for.
Right,
so this assists with that.
So that helps with that.
Along with, they still have to have a regimen of eating healthy. They still have to exercise, but this does help it a little faster.
Help them get it there faster.
Yeah.
So that's what I was gonna ask. Since it's a vacuum thing, so if they up there dancing, does it move? I mean, like.
No, because what we do is we mobilize those fat cells.
Oh.
So we mobilize those fat cells to kind of stay in that area, and then the suction just keeps. Yeah.
And it just keep it right there for a little while.
And then we have butt lifters and waist trainers that we sell in office as well.
Hold on. What is a lifter?
So a lifter, I meant to bring it, but I was kind of rushing from the office today. So what a lifter is, it's an actual garment that we would put on, the ladies would put on, and it's gonna kind of just lift your derriere, and it kind of trains it to stay lifted. So if you wear it over time, yes, but it's like if you train anything else, you're training your bottom, you're training
That's
it.
crazy, y'all.
So we have the full one piece where it trains your waist, so it keeps the stomach in, and it has the snaps to keep that part in, and then it has to lift to actually, so you're lifted, sculpted, all in one.
Oh wow! So a whole transformer. That is so.
Yeah.
That's dope, though. But that's innovative. So how
And they make trainers for men too. Yeah, we're gonna be getting that soon as well. To
You see how I sat up real quick?
Yeah.
I put a trainer on and you're sitting up there like, yeah. So now on Sparking Conversation. But so okay, so how new is this technology? Because I've never heard of it before.
I feel like it's been around, right?
It's been around. Yeah. It's been around, but years
we
ago,
heard vacuums for men, and they little, the area that they come up short.
Yeah. Well, this is
but
something
not for
that
women,
originated in Colombia. So now Colombians been doing this for a very long time.
Really?
We're now kind of catching on, but it's been a couple of years now actually. I myself, the reason I got into it, because I did some of the non-invasive services myself.
Right.
So I was a big fan of it.
So that's how you were able to promote it, because you were able to see results based on it yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I actually did videos, and I did videos of me going to other women who offer these services in New York. So when I came here, I said, I don't really see too much of that here.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that worked out. Yeah, because it's a lot of women here who, you could tell, like, the culture here is more like, okay, whatever they see on TV. This is why social media is such like a double-edged sword, man. Yes. It's good and it's bad. Good and bad. You know what I mean? Because then you got people who are able to handle whether they get a like or not when they put a picture up. And then you got some people who put their whole everything out there to achieve a like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of that is the reason why we say to people, well, I personally believe that the evasive surgeries, right, where they're getting the cement, some women have been reported that they
died.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And cement. So for me, your boot just don't move. Like, that is not attractive.
Yeah.
To walk and be walking like you carrying a big bag of laundry on you, and
a big bag of rocks.
Yeah, like, but then it kills you.
Yeah. To look good.
To look
like
to get a compliment.
Instagram stars or reality TV is a big one.
It's crazy, and a lot of them get all this stuff to them just so they could tell somebody no. I could see if women were doing this and they said, okay, I want to be, this is how I feel, this is helping my self-esteem or whatever, but they do that just so they could tell another person no. Then if they do get it, then you mess around and have a kid with them, you have a daughter, and then you wonder why your daughter's shaped like a little potato. Because the mother was built up. And you ain't know she was built up. And now you're looking at your daughter looking at your mother like, am I adopted? She get 13, and she want to know if she adopted or not.
Right, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy,
that has happened.
yo.
That has happened, yeah.
Yo, I'm telling you, man, that's some crazy stuff, yo. So I'm glad that you're here, though, because part of what we do, I know we had your husband on last time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I rocked with that dude heavy. You know what I'm saying? His story was really dope, too, because everything that he went through up until being, and then y'all a team of entrepreneurs, right? And I'm surrounded by people who are teams of entrepreneurs. And I don't think in this day and age that that's promoted enough. Right. where couples are actually working together to build. Even if it ain't the exact same thing, it could be similar, and they always working together. And then not only does it help the family structure imagery, it helps when your children too. They see that mom and dad work together versus it being a typical man and woman relationship where they just do, or the man go do, or the woman do, you know. But when two people work together, like, to me, that's like an enterprise.
Yes.
It's heavy.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I know it's not, but it feels like one, you know? Because if y'all two together, right? Y'all do it, then me and my significant other, and then we got other people in here, and then you and them. Do y'all know that is the board of directors right there? Yes. Everybody does something different, you know what I mean? And everybody got something they can bring to the table. Right. And a lot of people don't know how to play their position, but the reason why I was saying to you why I'm glad you're here is because people write into the show, and they like to give us topics and we give them our opinion. All right, and one of the opinions is a young lady that wrote me in this time, and which I'm so glad that you're here, because self-esteem is one of the biggest killers of our people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Latino and so-called African Americans, but that's a whole nother show. Y'all know I go left on that. But for those of us that grow up in here in a minority-based or ghetto-based situation, we deal with self-esteem on a whole nother level. Yeah. Right? And because of the way a person feels about you or not the way you feel about you, but the way somebody else, you'll hurt yourself. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we're going to get into that before we do. And another thing I wanted to talk to you about too, be that this week too, you know, one thing that I've been getting a lot of write-ins on? What? People love when we talk about relationships based on men and women. In the sense of opinions based on scenarios. Okay. And it's really weird to me, but people love the fact that we talk about scenarios. And I mean, we talk about it based on the way somebody writes in. Yeah. But I've been getting a lot of different things. So before we do that, we're going to bring Yessie in, because we like to kind of balance it out on the show. We like to have multiple females on the show so they can talk, so they feel like they represent it. But we're going to be right back. But until then, I want y'all to catch with the sponsors, man. Collective Wear and the rest of them. And, we'll be right back. Yo, this is Sparking Conversation, y'all. All right, yo. Welcome back, y'all. This is Sparking Conversation, y'all. And before we left, real quick, we were talking about a few things that we do. We're going to continue to talk about right now, which is, before we get into that topic, we were talking about self-esteem in our community, right? And we have Star here, and she was talking about how she helps women enhance their physical or the outside, you know, and a lot of times that helps them on the inside. It helps on the inside. Yeah, so inner and outer beauty. Self-esteem. So let me ask you this. So with the popularity of, let's say, strip culture, can I say strip culture? What do you think that the way people think about their body, do you think people think more about their bodies in a way that they can show it more than they are whether they're healthy or not?
Yes, because they would rather come and get a quick fix and to just eat healthy and train hard and practice their, their regimen. They would, I've had people come in and say, I want to look like this and I want this, but they want to still eat the same way. And, you can't come in and ask for a laser lipo session and then leave out and drink a can of Pepsi and eat a Twinkie. You're just whatever. I just worked hard on you to actually try to melt that fat. You're putting it right back in because the body still has to pass that out. All we're doing as non-invasive is just kind of melting that fat in there. You still do your lymphatic drainage. You still have to, do your lymphatic system. Drain that stuff out. Drinking your water, cutting your carbs, cutting your sweets, and it does work if you still, of course, eat healthy and exercise.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: so when people come in, do you guys give them a meal plan?
We don't do meal plan, but we do give them like kind of post-op, like what to do after, how to kind of maintain what we've just done. Right. We do give them that. Okay. And some do follow.
But some people don't. Yeah.
Because of course everybody wants a quick fix. That's why there's actual surgery. There's actually the actual whole BBL where you can go get the fat removed from whatever parts of your body that you don't want it.
And then they can put it somewhere else.
Quick fix.
Man, it's just something about that thought right there, though. Like, putting fat from one place to the other. Like, it's really weird. It's just a real concept for me because what I think about when I think about fat, I think about it something that you don't want. But then I think about when a person, like for a female who may take it from her stomach and put it in her butt, but it still looks a little lumpy. Like, you know, like
well,
yeah,
no.
like
It's
cottage
natural because
cheese.
it is your own body fat. However, that's been going on from years. Let's say a child was burnt severely and they need to do a fat graft, like a graft removal.
Yeah,
so they have done this for years, removing fat or skin from other places for women who have breast cancer. They have done that and taken fat to put in the breast versus getting silicone injections or silicone implants. So they have done this for years. It's just now women want it back there or in the hip area or the butt, you know, wherever. And you can actually do that to the breast too.
You can put the fat in up. Oh man!
It's not recommended, but some doctors
I'm say because that would not be attractive to see if she come out and she take her brow off and then it look like it's like cottage cheese.
Well, no, so you're getting it wrong. What they do is they take that fat and they actually get all that bad fat out, and they're just keeping that good saturated good fat because we have good fats and we have bad fats. So they're actually taking that good fat and placing it in.
So they separate the
fat. Yeah, and they get all that. Have you ever actually seen that surgery? So they're draining it.
Yeah.
And then
it
that
looks
heavy.
disgusting.
Yes, it does. That fat from the grease and the Lay's chips and all that.
It looks disgusting.
They're gonna drain that, and then that healthy thick fat is what they're gonna be putting
back in.
Yeah, and of course you gotta get massaging and stuff to kind of even it out
and make it right.
But,
so do people come to you after they get something like that?
Well, we don't take anyone unless it's been 6 months.
That they got a transfer or something like that.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy right there. Yo, I don't even know how this kicking stuff because I don't even understand because especially if they put it around there because I'm saying it's just the thought of it, and you're right. Most men don't know. So this is why this is good that you want to educate people because
I didn't know.
I wouldn't have known. The thought of it just seems, you know, like, ugh, like, ew.
But it's natural. Would you rather?
You know what I'm saying?
Would you rather someone have silicone implants in their behind,
but
or would you rather them have their own natural body fat?
You would.
It's just
you.
No, hold on. What I was gonna say.
It's not considered fake.
Right, true, because it's your own fat.
Yeah.
Right. The only thing about that is that what I think about the what is it, the silicone or the saline joints or whatever that is right there. It's just that it just holds there. It just stays there.
Well, it
and it's
does
like
stay there,
always
but
stay
it
perfect.
settles.
That's
I've
true.
done my
And
research
they
because
can hang a little bit,
even
right?
though I do non-invasive, I am considering getting an actual procedure of breast implants.
Really?
Yeah.
So with that being said, why wouldn't you do the transfer then? Because see, my thing is that if I talk to a woman and she says like, yo, you know, I could get the fat from someplace and I could put it up here, I'm thinking to myself like, damn.
We haven't had enough body fat for one.
Yeah, you
gotta have enough body fat. I don't
you
really
in
have
the gym,
much.
you and your husband. I'm sure
you gotta have
in
enough body fat, and it's fat. So if I lose weight,
you gonna
I lose
lose
whatever I just injected, what they put in me. So for me, that's me. Although everyone's different, I would actually want to go and get the actual. And I'm very open. I'm not one of those women that deny anything. I'm very open. So that's something that I have been looking into, and I attempted to do about a year or two, I think it was ago. I actually attempted to go and get done, and didn't work for me. As you can tell, I don't have what I went in there to get. They couldn't do them on me. So
there's a way that they could tell you that you can't get them?
Well, I had cysts in my breast, so they had to remove the cysts, which they did, and it wasn't safe for me at that time to get those, actual implants. So it's just, and it's not that I'm insecure. I'm married. I'm not insecure at all.
True.
But women always kind of want what they don't have, I guess. And I guess I'm one of them. I'm not top heavy. I'm more bottom heavy. So I kind of want to be a little more top heavy. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't have that issue. Whatever God gives y'all
No,
gotta be
not
stuck with.
really.
Well, no,
Hold on.
there's things now y'all gotta be
I
stuck
was getting ready
with.
to say, because some people, they second toe is longer than they big toe.
Oh, you
and
can
that
fix that
fucks up a pair of
No,
that fucks up a pair of sneakers.
You can fix that now.
You got 11 on one side, 11.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got a
Yeah.
10, you got a 10 on
10
one foot and
foot
11 on the other
Yeah.
foot because your toe is longer than the other.
Yes.
So dudes deal with a lot of different things. I think what women fail to realize that dudes deal with the same
Y'all
type
don't
of.
fix it though. See, a woman to go and fix it.
But I don't think it's that. Yeah, we don't go fix it. But you know why we don't go fix it? Because it's the thought of.
Exactly.
It's the thought of. He's like, yo, man, you went and got that.
Right.
Imagine going to your boys like, yo, fam, check this out, man. I just got my chest done.
Well, Kanye West
your boy gonna be like,
Kanye West did it.
Why didn't you hit the gym?
He did it, and he's filthy rich, and he did it.
yeah,
And
that's
no
true.
one told him to
But
do it.
I don't know if
He went and did
rich
lipo.
is really the thing. Like, you could have all the money in the world. It's just the man thing. You know, like, all right, so for us, you know, like how, yo, you fall and you cry, you know, all these things that we're taught as men.
That's men, but
You know what I'm saying? So when you grow up.
who said that was
Exactly.
the way of, you know?
Exactly.
No,
who said
I
that?
mean, you right. But, you know, you up here talking about you right. You, I'm sure at some point in time you would think of something that you would have got done, but you know if you'd have told your boys that, they'd be like, man, what? You did what to you? You did what to yourself? Oh yeah, man, I went and got cause now
They get pecs.
they do the fake chest.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a dude could go get
My
a fake
husband's
chest.
chest. People have asked my husband is his chest real because his pecs are so big.
Yeah, but see, they
And it's
don't
natural.
watch his Instagram. They don't see
don't
that he
know that
lift
he-
whole cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
If you
yeah.
pick up a whole car, your chest is supposed to stick out your shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I was just trying to pick up a bike. Y'all talking about a car. I'm trying to pick up a bike. I'm trying to figure it out. But dudes don't have the same opportunity to say, yo, I'm gonna go somewhere and get
Yeah.
myself fixed.
That's
Like
true.
I got all this stomach fat. I can't see my penis. I'm gonna take all this out and put it in there. You know what I'm
Put it in
saying?
your penis.
And then you put it in there, and then what happens? Is it hard and soft? So it's like, do it work and not work? Like, do you want?
Well,
Do it
that's
give you
the-
the girth, or do you give you the length? Like we gotta go in there and think about all this, and then we gotta try to test it out.
Yeah.
So then that part is, you know what I'm saying,
That's
the
why
whole
you have
test
to
out
do
part.
research.
But see, for
It's just a lot
women,
of thinking we put into
you see what I'm saying? All this thinking, but for
We think about a
women,
lot of shit.
it's not about what you work with. It's about how you look. See, for dudes, it ain't really too much about. Well, it depends on the female. If she don't like a dude that's lumped up, then she don't like a dude that's lumped up. But then you got dudes like Biggie and all these other people who women love
Yeah.
just because they like that type of guy. You know, so for dudes it's weird. It's like on TV. If you ever notice on TV when it comes to the couples, the woman is always attractive, but the man be like mad average. If you kind of think about that, because with men, it's not the same as women. Dudes want something fixed, it's so they can use it. Women want something fixed, it's just so they could look.
They can look the part. Yeah.
Look like, wow, look at that. And then, you know, it's like, okay, I looked at you. Now, what am I going to do with myself, with my life? Because I'm a man now. I done saw a lamb run through it. I'm a lion. So then what happens? And then you got people who look at it the whole wrong way. They'll judge you just based on how you look.
Oh yeah.
You know? But the one thing about a man, if he looks overweight, it's automatic. His ass is not healthy.
Yes. That's right.
It's no,
Right.
it's no in between with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A dude overweight, his ass got diabetes. He like
Nowadays-
one sandwich short of a heart attack.
That's true, but
You know what I
nowadays
mean? But now women
they're
though,
actually going
they got
for big men
models
too,
for
though.
women like that.
They go find big men. Look at Rick Ross. People find him as he was considered
Yeah.
a sex symbol.
True, but
You know?
but it was I think he was a sex symbol based on his account.
Yes.
But you see, he got in the
yes.
gym.
Yes.
All right, but
Gucci
how
did
many
Yeah.
full figure
Yeah.
men models do you know in the world? Not one. You got a woman around here. She could be
Well, Biggie,
850
may he rest in
pounds.
peace, but women considered him a sex symbol. Maybe because of his.
That's true, but he wasn't
He
model.
was,
Well, I don't know if
you know.
he wasn't like a model though. But I'm talking about they got whole full figure pageants
Yes.
for women,
They have full figured
like
exotic dancers.
encouraging them to be unhealthy.
Well, what about the
Yeah.
man?
You know what I'm saying? But the men, it's like, yo, son, you better, if you want to get in any type of competition with your body, you better do some push-up.
Yeah, you gotta
You understand what I'm
get-
saying? You better
Yeah.
get on the
Yeah.
treadmill.
Yeah.
But a woman can eat a whole sub, a Italian cheeseburger, a whole Italian cheeseburger that same day and then go model. And then y'all take it and put it all back together again. You know what I'm saying?
like
push
jumping
it
or
in.
something.
Yeah, I hugged a lady one time. I don't know what I was hugging. I just felt a whole bunch of cement. It's like her whole body was padded. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like one of those things. Like, yo, what up, Rob? What up, yo? Like, damn, this one feel like a linebacker. Cause I mean, like, it got Cause the whole thing she had on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Under there. But let a dude go out with a one piece, anything on. He mess around, lift his shirt up, talk about he hot. But like, damn, you got a whole girdle fit? Like, how you gonna play that off? Like, how you gonna play that off? Dudes can't do that, man. That's crazy. Damn, I keep kicking this stuff over. That stuff is crazy. So, but, all right, so self-esteem. All right, that was one thing that we talked about. So now what I want to do, B, is that we got to figure out this other part real quick. When it comes to your image, right? Image, because we talk about image all the time, right? And anything we do in entertainment, it's about image. So when it comes to that, B, tell me, as a man, what do you think is our most important, like the most important factor of us being men, like self-esteem, that'll kill our self-esteem? Security.
If you don't have bread as a man,
Man.
you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like if you don't have, to me, that's just the fact of
security.
The world. Bro. Yeah, security. But that's why a lot of men are insecure. Most men are insecure, actually, in my opinion.
I mean, I think we do suffer.
I think
from
a lot of that is from a lack of insecurity. Is the definition, lack of security. So whether that's finances, right? If you don't have your bread together, you automatically set yourself apart mentally, unless you have that grind on you to go ahead and get it right.
True.
First, right. So I think, to me, that's the biggest thing.
The biggest thing is security.
Security. And I think
man.
everything else stems from that. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's getting women or if that's what you want to do with her, making sure your family's good. You know what I'm saying? Like preparing yourself for further down the line.
Right.
If you don't have yourself as in a secure state in any way, you're not going to be able to do anything 100% right.
That you feel.
You know
so
what I mean?
You think for men, security is what either boosts or hurt our self-esteem?
Yep.
It hurts. Yo, welcome back. Sparking Conversation. Y'all already know what this is, man. One of the dopest podcasts out. As y'all can see, I have some extra family members in the building, right? So, y'all got to tell everybody who y'all are. So, we start with you, Queen.
Miss Melissa Maldonado.
Alright, and
Richie 2 times.
there it is. And then you know my boy.
You already know Abnormal Keys.
Alright. Y'all remember him from the last show? So, y'all, what we was talking about before we went to break, which I'm glad we have some extra faces and some extra brains on. You know why? Because we were talking about self-esteem, and self-esteem dealing with the way people feel or the way it affects them, and it affects them physically, yes. Right? One of the biggest things that we were talking about before we left, we were talking about the difference between men and women and the way that we think and we feel about how we, what we value as far as what helps us with our esteem, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Right. So you made a good point. You said it was about security.
Yeah.
All right. So with my new people that's on, security. So fellas, I'm going to start with y'all first. Because the lady's going to kill us. We already know that. All right? So we're going to start with y'all. So tell me, y'all, outside of the fact of it being anything to deal with security, what is another issue that men deal with that affects our self-esteem?
I don't think there is another issue. I think it's all based on security.
Everything. If we not secure, then we don't feel like that.
Listen, I can't even go and drive a mile away from the house, from my family in the house, if I thought that I left the door unlocked. All right? So my household has to be secure. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So when we look at the account together, I have to make sure that account is right. And I'm horrible at money. Right? So my wife is way better at spending money than I am.
True.
But if it's not right, then I'm not secure with it. So
I get what you're saying.
The security of my household is everything. And then the security of my relationship is everything. You know what I'm saying? So not to toot my own horn, but my job as a man, as a husband, is not to make my wife jealous of another woman, but another woman jealous of my wife.
That's right.
That's tough. You know
I like that. So when you can tell when an MC in the building, right? They hit you with some bars real quick. Out of nowhere. I don't even know if he knew that we about to steal all of that and put that in a caption under this particular portion of the video. You know what I'm saying? So Kizo, I know what it's like because at the end of the day you deal with your woman is enterprising, as we can see. You enterprising yourself. So, what else? Is there any other thing? I know you agree with everybody else up here so far that it's security that deals with our self-esteem. But anything else? Because technically, fam, you built yourself up physically. You understand what I'm saying?
Hold
Okay.
on.
Okay.
That's the security of having the money, the help out. You know what I mean? That's my wife right there.
Right.
We go through it, and I tell her all the time. She the breadwinner. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had my trials and tribulations in life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we talked about last week, I did 16 years. My wife is the breadwinner.
Facts.
It plays on me. She might say, "Baby, I got this. Don't worry about it and all that." And I still be like,
Nah.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Trust me,
Nah.
son. I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
She'll tell me this all. I'm like, nah, it plays with me. No, what's wrong with you? You wrong. It plays on us.
That's a fact.
As a man. If a man don't feel that way, he's a chump.
That's a fact.
He's a chump. If he feel like, yo, I'm cool with my wife doing this or my girl doing this, you a chump.
You a chump, y'all. I feel
son. Right, like on everything. And we go through this to this day. And like I said, I'm not afraid and ashamed to say she's the breadwinner.
Right.
But she know I'll try.
Keep pushing.
And
yes, you do.
that's what counts. The fact that, because if you don't try as a man, then you're not a man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes
That's a fact.
you got to learn how to pick up the goddamn screwdriver and twist the motherfucking screw.
Exactly.
You afraid to do that?
You gonna have
You gotta
to.
call up the handyman every time a light blow out.
Talk.
That's a
Yo,
problem.
fam,
You know
I'm
what
gonna be honest
saying?
with
So you
y'all
got to
because
try.
I fucked around and had to change out the cord to a dryer. You know what I'm saying? And
See, but that's some dangerous shit if you don't.
I was getting ready to say it. I was getting ready to say it. I almost died. Look, I was getting ready to say I almost died. But you know what? I felt good because
You accomplished it.
yeah, because
Right.
we sitting in there. Me and Yassi, we sitting in there, and she's on the internet. And me, she like one of them people, okay, I got it. Like, no, I got it.
Right.
And I'm screwing shit. Yo,
Right.
shit. And then she wasn't looking, and I got zapped one time. She turned back around. I was just sitting there. She like, what's wrong? I was like, I'm just thinking. Moving the red and the green. But my whole thing is that in this society, because the ladies, I'm going to need y'all to speak on this. Only reason why, not only reason, but I need y'all to speak on this because the way you ladies handle self-esteem is totally on a whole nother level than we do as men. You understand what I'm saying? But real quick, I just wanted to say the smallest thing to us, even if it's taking out the trash, if it's washing your car, or all these things matter. Even if that's not something that's you, like I'm not like I can't cut grass or whatever. Yes, you can. You know what I'm saying? It might be fucked up. It might look like you was asleep when you did it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you can go out there and do it. But then there's certain men. Now we know, because I know we all know dudes who don't mind living off their woman.
Exactly. That's
And
right.
them dudes be cool as a fan. Right. They got all the games and everything in their house.
Exactly.
All the games. Like I'm saying, yo, you ain't got no job. Yo, how you get the new Call of Duty?
You feel comfortable with yourself.
Like that.
Right.
And then we get upset when women take to the streets and they say to themselves like, I don't need you. And see, guys like us, we get caught up in son. So ladies, help me out. Self-esteem, right? For y'all, what are some of the things that you ladies feel like hurt your self-esteem?
Not being accomplished.
Not being as a woman? Yeah, as a woman, because we trying to figure it out because we see you ladies, whatever you don't like, you just fix it. But we can't do that.
It's mind over matter.
In
You
one
can
sense,
do
break it
whatever
down.
you choose to do.
So you're saying that if one of us got an eye smaller than the other, we can get... No, I'm just playing. But don't tell me...
Get the fat outside.
So you mean tell me I can go get my chest built now?
Yes, nowadays.
But tell me, so for ladies, tell me y'all, what hurts y'all guys in the sense of what makes you feel like you got bad self-esteem or like your self-esteem is not where it needs to be?
I agree. It's not feeling accomplished and always pushing hard. But the beauty with most women that I know and associate myself with is that we're about action. and if we don't see it enough, we're gonna try route A, B, C, D, E, F, G until it works.
We have
Until it
plans in place.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, plans
Exactly.
in place.
And so we're gonna keep pushing hard because if we know if route A doesn't work, well, guess what? My eye is still there on that prize. Let me try route B. You and I deal with this all the time. You know how I am. And you always tell me that, baby, why do you do this way? And I always tell you I have an A, B, C, D, E, F, G all the way to letter Z.
Yeah.
Because
You
if
have
A
that
doesn't
plan.
work and B doesn't work and C doesn't work, let's try D, E, F, G.
Yep.
Well, see, that's the difference between men and women. I think we all have a sense of urgency based on how we feel our plan is going to work. The only difference is with us, man, we overthink.
Why?
Well, because that's what we're designed to do. You know, we're designed to be the thought person. So tell me this, ladies.
I'm sorry, not to cut you off. What do you mean by overthink? Only men overthink.
No,
Women
not
overthink
only
as
men.
well.
No, only men. No.
I think I get what you're saying.
All right.
What I think he's trying to say is, as men, we're very methodical in how we move, right? And so we think of how each thing could play out, like each scenario will play out, and then we make the move we feel like is going to be the
Yeah,
most,
that's
you know
a
what I'm saying,
fact.
accurate move.
Because if we think about y'all before y'all think about, say, for example, like Keys was saying, like we know that as a woman, if we fall short, y'all got our back. But the thought process of us is like, man, I can't let her do that.
Right. Exactly.
Even though we know we supposed to rely on y'all,
Yeah.
we are supposed to, but even if it's just one time or a small season that we have to rely on y'all to take care of everything, it is the worst feeling in the world.
Man,
Although
surprising.
you ladies say,
Man.
and y'all prove it time and time
Every
again,
time.
we got y'all back. You know?
Is it?
We don't know how to receive it because we think too much.
Yeah,
Like,
the
yo,
ego
another
too
dude,
big,
or yeah.
You hit it
But
right on the nail. I
that's-
was just
that's
gonna
a
say
fact.
that it's
Mhm.
ego.
But we gotta have it.
Who
But
says you
Or
have
pride.
to have that?
Or pride. Maybe it's pride.
It's-
Maybe it's not ego, maybe it's pride.
it's both with us. It's the ego and pride. That's built with us from the time to time. That's just built in us.
Right.
From our fathers, from their fathers, and all that.
That's
So
a
at
fact.
I
what point
go
is
through
it
that
gonna
with her
change?
all the time. Like, yo, babe.
Yeah, but you can't really break that
Right.
that circle though, because I mean it's just instilled in us that we're the ones that's supposed to go out there
Mhm.
and kill for food and bring
Yes.
it back home. And if we come back empty-handed, then no, we don't even feel like a man.
No, and then y'all go out there immediately and bring the
Immediately
food.
do something.
The
Bring
food
it.
here.
Bring food.
And it's food that you can own, that food that got a
you can get another
commercial.
man to go get your food.
But
Yeah.
you know what I
You know what I'm
learned?
saying?
If you ever look at the Animal Planet,
Yeah.
the lion woman does that.
She go out there and kill
She
food.
bring it quick.
Mm-hmm.
The man might go out there chasing the deers and all that. Soon as she go out
Food
there,
coming
she bring
back.
the food back.
But let me
time.
say this.
I don't want to do it by myself.
Facts.
You know, I want to do it with my wife. You mentioned that earlier.
Right.
You know, I mean, we're a company without even realizing.
True.
You know, so knowing that I can bring my skills to the table, my wife can bring her skills to the table, my mind does not know how to shut off. So I'm always thinking of ways, what can we do to bring our skill set together
Me
so
too.
we can do better.
Better. Me too. I be walking around with, yo, so I thought about this and I thought about that. And a lot of times we think about it because this is something that we really want to do.
Right.
But the odds are stacked against us.
Right. And to bring it to something that you mentioned as far as breaking that cycle, I think that thought process alone, for me personally, is breaking that cycle. You know, I love my parents to death. To death.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the kicker though. My father was and still is a great provider, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mother has always taught to love and to be strong, right?
Right.
But they ain't never taught us about taxes. They ain't never
You
taught
talk
us
about real estate,
credit.
none of
They
that
ain't
stuff.
never taught about real estate.
Yeah.
And now they're retired and they're still living check to check.
Mm-hmm.
As a retired couple,
That's
I don't want that, man.
Man, me
I don't
neither.
want that.
Me neither.
We retired, I don't want to have to look at my account, our account, and say, well, we're going to be able to afford this and we can't afford this. Nah,
I
man.
know what
So
you're
saying.
that right there, we got to break that cycle. We got to teach ourselves that we can do better for ourselves.
For ourselves.
And we need to take chances. And so we can take chances and we can show our kids,
Mm-hmm.
you need to take your chances. Because you, look, man, all that YOLO crap, you only live once. No.
Damn,
I live
man.
every day.
Damn.
I die once. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's now we got to do this now because
Yeah.
tomorrow, man. I mean, like you said, yo,
They
we can
trying.
walk out the door. We not promised to
To
go
come back home, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And that's
we
why I
got
think
to
for
do that
men,
now.
I think for men to help us out with our self-esteem, so the ladies don't feel so pressured on trying to be everything for us, because sometimes they need somebody to be something for them too.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, at some point in time, we have to sit back and say, yo, she's doing. Let me figure out a way that I can take some of this pressure off of her, right? So what I want to say is that I think for us, based on this topic, because we gotta go to another topic real quick, but based on this topic of self-esteem, I really realized that for you ladies, like all y'all pretty much said, it's feeling accomplished, and then for us, it's feeling necessary, if that makes sense. Because we don't know if y'all really don't need it. Like, man, do you know what type of feeling that is on a man to be with somebody who you know really don't need you?
You make you be on your A game.
But
If
they
a real,
want
real
you,
man that make you be on your A game.
but they don't really need you. So you can't lay around on the couch every day knowing that your woman don't really need you.
But look at how powerful that is, though. A woman who's with you, knowing that like they want you, but that they don't need you. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of women, a lot of people in general, not even women, who are in relationships based on they feel like they need somebody.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? And then that gets to that personal stuff. But I feel like if you have especially a strong woman beside you who wants you and don't need you, not only does that say a lot about what she sees in you, but also tells you like make sure you stay on top
On your game.
yeah, because
Yeah,
you can
baby.
get quick.
You can
But
be
don't-
replaced quick, right?
But
Not
you know-
necessarily though, but
But
you know.
there's a lot of dudes that I'm told for them don't have a stigma against you.
Yeah.
Meaning,
Yeah.
like my situation. You know what I mean? I'm on parole. I got 3 felonies.
Right.
So I have a stigma against me where it's hard for me to elevate in certain lot of shit.
Right. Because they
Where
prejudge you
they
based on your past.
prejudge me for my past, and they try to keep me right back down.
Yeah.
So all I got is her.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I could try and try and try, and it's still like,
Boom.
and it's a lot. It's probably like 85% of black men that going through what I go through.
That's a fact.
That's a good
If you
point.
have a stigma, so you gotta have a strong woman to deal with that.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
You gotta have a strong woman.
That's a fact.
If you got that stigma, yeah, I hear what he's saying. No, yo, I'ma try, but I got a stigma, a strike.
He tries and
Right.
sometimes it just doesn't work.
It
It
just
don't work.
It don't work. I'm a
Can't get
living
certain
testimony,
jobs.
like,
But you're gonna continue trying though.
Of
but
course.
that's a fact. I'm
That's-
never.
then
But that's what
the
matters. You
I'm
should.
never
That's the
going.
point.
And she
But
know
it
that.
does frustrate. It
It
can frustrate a
frustrate-
man.
It's got frustrated.
You know, when
Yeah.
they know they want to be able to do something, but they can't. They try
can't.
for all these different jobs and no one's calling back. Or they're sending letters due to, your background. We decided to
Right.
go
You know what I'm
elsewhere.
saying?
You see your friends going to Dubai or wherever and you want to go
Right.
somewhere, and because you're on parole for the next
So
5
it
years,
is a
you can't
lot
travel.
of
nowhere.
dudes going through
You know.
what I'm
Right.
going through. Like
Yeah.
I said, 85%. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure
Right.
it's 85%.
Especially
A black
who have
man,
records or
Latino,
whatever.
Right.
That
Like,
happened when they were
like,
young,
yo,
you know.
she know what it is.
Yeah.
I try. And we talked about this.
Right.
I try. If you got that stigma against you, if you don't got that strong woman, she's.
It's
That's
a
why
And
wrap.
I
we're
see
gonna
it
be
in
the
y'all.
We're gonna be that backbone. That's
There's
what
a
we
lot of
do.
women
We're gonna be that
she
backbone.
can't do shit.
But y'all gotta understand, it's not a lot of women like that though.
Yeah.
It's like, as a man, you run across all different
And
types of women, and they like that.
yo, Rob, it plays against me.
Hell yeah.
I took to my mom. I thank God I still have my mom's, my pop. They not together.
Yeah, but you still
But
got
I could talk to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
vent to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it plays with my pride.
Facts.
Me being a man. Like, yo, damn, my wife doing every fucking thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. That shit.
Yo,
Trust me, I
I'm
know.
supposed to be this person. You didn't raise me like this.
That's a fact.
Right.
But let me put a twist to this, because I hear what you're saying. You're like Rashid always tells me, don't wait for the opportunity. You have the opportunity. Your wife has several lucrative businesses, so your investment to what you're doing to her business is already helping her. You're already importing and in making something grow. So look at flipping the coin to the other side is don't wait for the employers or whoever's already established to give you the opportunity. Invest in these, which is what you've been doing. And that's why she sees in you. She sees that you are trying because you're helping her.
that you believe in her.
Exactly.
Well, you know that's a
unit.
good
That's
thing
a
too.
strong unit.
Yeah, that's a good thing too.
That's a strong
So
unit.
what I want to say real quick before we switch subjects is that for those of y'all watching, you know, this is a continued subject. This is not something that we can just get all out in one show, one episode or whatever. This is something that's going to be continuous because as people we got to learn how to build off of, you know, what we fell from. So they say tumbling blocks. So we got to learn how to build off of the tumbling blocks. What makes it a tumbling block? Because you tumbled over it. So we got to learn how to build from that. So we're going to have to do a lot more conversations like this in order for us to try to get an understanding. So before we move forward, I just want to say to all of y'all watching, like, look, before I get into this next segment real quick, which is us talking about the person that wrote in, give my disclaimer like I always do. We are not therapists. We're not telling y'all that you should follow what we're saying, but everyone up here is going to give their opinion. Why? Because the people who write in, they asked for it, okay? All right, so for all y'all up here, this particular one is about relationships, right? So a young lady wrote in to me, and I'm going to paraphrase it. Basically, our service in here sucks, so I can't pull it up, but I remember what she said. So, and which is going to be good for all of us in here to try to help out with this particular situation, but this is what she says. She said that she is physically turned off with life.
Okay.
Okay? Physically turned off with life. So in that physical turn off she is with life, she's physically turned off when it comes to making sure that her man is taken care of in that particular department. So we're talking about her physically being turned off is turning her off from even wanting to make love, have sex, whatever we do, hump out to her significant other. And it's causing a problem, but they have children. Okay? So what she's saying is that he's constantly reminding her that the main reason why he's there is because of the children.
Wow. That's
Okay? Now, but before we get, I know, but he's saying that based on the way that she's being reactive to how she feels about herself. And she's saying that it's nothing that he's doing to make her feel this way. It's just that the way she thinks about her life, basically more like what you ladies were saying, were accomplished in that.
He sounds very selfish. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Okay, so you're saying he's but see, that's the point. That's why we want to talk about this because
I'll be glad to break the how down.
How?
I don't believe he's being. I believe that he doesn't have any tact.
So
You gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah, but not everybody has the ability to do that, and depression is a serious thing where people don't even realize that they're depressed, and then that stigma that we was talking about, depression becomes stigmatized like, oh, I'm crazy, oh, I gotta go see, I don't want to speak to a psychologist because that's a shrink, and we're not supposed to do that. You know, so the depression is a chemical imbalance.
Yes,
you know, it's scientifically, you know,
it messes with you the way you think
it's
and the way you feel.
Imbalance,
so when we talk about depression, though, let me say this real quick because I know the ladies want to really jump in on this, but what we got to realize is that the depression is on both sides now.
Oh, yeah.
Because not only is she depressed on how she feels, he's depressed on how he thinks. Remember, we're the way we think. So he thinks that she don't want him.
But that's a different type
and
of
she
depression.
may be with somebody else. She could tell him all day long that no, it ain't that. It's just I don't feel like this right now today. But then at the end of the day, it's making him depressed at the same time.
He feels
So
hurt.
we got a double depression going on here. So which not we, but I want to make sure that all of y'all get off the way y'all feel. But you know, one at a time, somebody y'all tell me like, based on those scenarios, what do y'all think? Is this? How could you help this person if this is what they're writing in?
It's called communication.
That's right.
You have to be open and be honest to who you are. Who you trying to hide? Like, be the person you were meant to be.
Right.
Don't be what that man or your family members may expect for you to be. If you're not true to yourself 100%, and my husband knows, I am who I am.
Right.
And I'm not gonna change.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be happy with who I am. Now, if I'm not happy who I am, and I'm not communicating that in a relationship, whether it be 2 females, 2 males, or whatever, then it's not gonna work. And it's not gonna work because I'm not letting it work. But on top of that, if the male is telling me, well, you know, I'm being turned off by you too, then that wall's up.
That's true.
I'm a
She
disconnect.
put that wall up.
Yep, she did.
She put that wall up.
She did.
She put 2 walls up though.
But
But the thing is
she
if she's-
unintentionally put that wall up.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree with
Depression
you. Yes.
is a chemical imbalance.
It is.
You know, you react to certain situations without realizing it. You don't mean to be that. Nobody walks
Exactly.
around. It's just like being gay. You think you know, somebody who's gay wants to be criticized for being gay.
No.
It's not that they just woke up and said, "Oh, I'm gay." Oh man, you're born that way. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Some
And you don't know what her upbringing was. You don't know.
You don't know.
Well, in the sense of that, if we chalk it up to that, then that's why I feel like our relationships between men and women are really not where they're supposed to be too, because we are afraid to talk about our past, because when you get over something, to bring it back up again only brings back up the way you felt during that time. And sometimes if you really felt bad during a time that you felt like you got over something, you don't want to feel that again. You know, some people put certain memories way back
Way
here,
back there.
right? But in this sense right here, she's saying she's physically turned off. Now, I never heard that before.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard women say that they don't feel a certain way,
Yeah.
but I've
Key word
never
you
heard
said was
physically.
life. She's
Yeah.
physically turned off by life, not physically turned off by that person.
But
You said
physically turned
life.
off by life. That is
You know what
true.
I'm saying?
That is
That's
true.
everything. I don't want
So-
to
so-
walk. I don't want to breathe.
Yeah.
That's
no
true.
more.
That's
That's
true.
mental.
That's true.
Mental.
That's
That's
true.
what I'm saying. She
Disorder.
gotta get in tune with
That's-
herself.
Exactly.
Nobody really can
Right.
help
That's
you or tell
depression.
you if you saying
depression,
that
yeah.
I'm
That's true.
physically turned off for life.
And so that's why I was saying he's selfish, because if he would have
Right.
But how-
educated himself,
And I would
one
want to get her
thing
help.
that
Right.
being
Get
a
her help,
woman
yes.
that you all men will not experience is when certain women give childbirth. Not all of them. They deal with
Postpartum.
post-traumatic.
I
Exactly.
had-
Yeah,
She
postpartum.
I had it. I
And
went through
postpartum
it.
depression.
Right.
So we don't know how old these children are. All she's saying she has children,
That's
so we
true.
don't know if she's still dealing with the repercussions of this
That's true.
postpartum
Right.
depression.
That's true.
And so if he would have taken the time to educate
educate
himself,
himself.
exactly.
Exactly.
And I'm not putting the full blame on him, because I agree with you. Communication is also important. Hey, baby, you know I'm feeling some type of way.
I
But
I
how-
tell
but
my
how does
husband about it,
somebody
because he
depressed
didn't.
And I ain't
communicate?
understand it.
He said, "Ain't nothing wrong with you. You just
But
you know,
how-
what's wrong with
but
you?"
how
And I
understand it.
said,
But they gotta
"No.
understand
You
my
need to
situation.
really
I didn't
like
grow
Google
up
or read
in
about
this world.
postpartum,
Right.
bipolar
Everybody-
depression.
right,
Like you
right.
need to, if you're gonna be married to someone who has these
She used to tell
struggles."
me that after my daughter.
And
I'm
people
like,
always think, oh, because she has businesses, or
you
she
bugging.
she
Like,
works. I've
that's
worked in
crazy.
juvenile justice for 13
Yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah.
She raised her kids. She's doing this. She drives foreign car. That's
That doesn't
nothing
matter,
right
exactly.
here though.
That
Exactly.
does
You
nothing
know,
there.
here.
So
So sometimes
Here's
you
the
have to
facts.
educate yourself
Here's the
to
facts.
really know what you're really dealing, who you're
Yeah.
dealing with.
Yep.
basically, as a man, so this is what we need to do. Okay, as men, we need to educate ourselves on the emotions of women. Is what y'all basically saying?
Not necessarily emotions. I
But you can't
it's
really
more
do
than
that.
that.
That's my
It's
point.
needing some
Yeah.
emotion.
That's my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I don't know how we could do that. I know what we
You
could
gotta
do
listen, bro.
for ourselves.
Listen, yes.
But you know what? I was gonna say
Active-
something. I was gonna say
active
something about.
listening,
Okay,
active listening.
so listen to understand, not listen to respond.
Yeah,
Right?
and we do that
But
a lot.
is this
as
going
men.
towards the same subject as what the
Yeah. What they saying? What they
Okay.
saying?
Well, fact is that most people who are depressed,
Right.
They're turned off with life.
they don't even realize
They
they're
don't-
depressed, so they can't even communicate
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they
So
going
that's
around
a
thinking that,
self-diagnosis thing.
right.
You're saying.
So they going around thinking that there's nothing wrong with me. Right?
Right.
So if I was depressed and my mood changed
Right.
and my wife comes to me and says, "What's wrong with you?" My initial answer is nothing.
Because you don't know it.
Nothing is wrong with me. Why you asking me that? What's wrong with you?
But then the
Right.
person that knows you
But if
knows
I'm-
how you feel.
But
this
if I'm
little guy.
depressed, that's not even calculating. It's not. I'm not even
That's why
looking
you
at
have to
that.
for yourself.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
gotta know
I'm not
yourself.
looking in the
You
mirror
know
and
what,
saying maybe
though?
there's something wrong with
Yeah,
me.
I still think we're
that's-
giving. I still think
Yeah,
we're
I can
giving that
agree with that.
You
person.
feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I still think we're giving that person too much credit.
Too
though.
much.
Who the
Exactly.
person who
I
is-
think you know.
Which
Only reason why I'm
person?
saying
The
is
person-
the
No,
female.
the
I'm thinking of the
female.
female. We giving
Right.
her a little bit too much credit because we're
could
putting
be
all
this way.
the pressure on the dude for him to learn,
Yeah.
as if a person who's going through something don't know that they're going through.
Yeah.
it.
That's
like-
up to him to help her out.
Thank you, especially if
Well,
you're
how
in it.
if a person is not accepting the fact that they are depressed, how
Yeah.
can they accept that help? Like you just
Exactly.
said, like a person that's depressed is not gonna diagnose themselves as depressed. They just gonna feel like, nah, I'm good.
I'm
just
good, I'm
chilling.
fine.
I'm cool. This is
So
what
how
I've
can I
always
help you?
been.
I
So
tell
how
you what
can
I
you
can
do-
do.
Okay.
Right? If my wife was going around, she was depressed and she was acting a certain different type of way,
Right.
and I bring it to my wife's attention, she's like, "There's nothing wrong with me." I'm gonna let that slide, maybe twice. The third time is, "Baby girl, we need to sit down."
We need to
Because
talk.
now this is affecting not only you, us,
Accepted.
our household.
Right.
All right. I wouldn't bring something to your attention if I didn't see that there was something wrong. So this is I'm asking you
Because it's the way what I'm saying.
And then saying
Yeah,
something.
finish what you were saying though, Keys, real quick, because right now, that's what you're saying is what I was trying to get to about the fact that how we said earlier about the way we are as men. When you already are in a position where you don't feel like you're as strong as you should be in your household, when you know your woman is doing everything or doing the bulk of everything, and you feeling a certain way, and then all of a sudden you feel like she's not attracted to you. Now, from what I'm getting from her, because she wrote in, not him, I'm getting from her that she's admitting that she's physically turned off with life. That's what she said.
Period.
Physically turned off with life. So you said that's basically depression.
Yeah,
I agree.
You don't wanna live no more.
I think all of us agree, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That's basically depression. So she's depressed. So now he's depressed.
But
Because
see,
now
I
he
don't
feels
see
like
you depressed, though.
no, but think about it. I'm just talking about from your point of view because you
He's
basically
upset. He's hurt.
But I believe though. Now I mean, he didn't write in, so I may be stretching it a little bit, and I'm not taking up for men, but I'm just thinking it has to be depressing to be in a house and then to your woman to feel like your woman don't want you.
But there's a difference between something being depressing and a person being depressed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we taking that out of
Okay.
context.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So break that down. So
All
break
right,
that down.
so
So you
you
saying
could be in a
depressed and depressing.
graveyard's a depressing environment.
That's a
right?
fact, that's
If
a
you go to
fact.
a cemetery, that's a depressing environment, right? If you got fired from your job, you had a depressing moment, right?
Right.
But that doesn't make you a person depressed. For a person to be depressed, that's a medical situation. All right.
But most men, if they can't provide, like you just said, losing a job and not being able to get one,
You can
that
fall
shit is
into-
fucking depressing.
You can fall into a
you
depression.
can
yes.
fall
Yeah,
into
yeah,
a
yeah.
depression.
So y'all get my
Right.
point. So basically what y'all saying is that, all right, boom. So he may not be depressed at the moment, but the things that he's saying is leading him into
But
depression.
how
now?
long he's been in a situation to where he didn't
Yeah,
take
see, I
a
don't
hold
know
of
because
it?
she didn't say like a length of depression
said
she's
he
been
only-
in.
He has said several.
She said he
occasions
said
that
several
he's
times.
only there for the children.
Now, because of the way that the home life has been. And that's the only part about this is because we can't hear his side of the story.
Right.
But can you blame men for feeling that way?
That's my point I wanted to talk to the ladies about. Now, in that particular sense, this is a great question that he asked. Do y'all feel like he's wrong for the way he feels?
Why?
Yes.
No,
But
I don't feel he's
But
wrong.
we don't know how
I
long
don't
he's
feel
been
he's
feeling
wrong.
that way though.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I don't feel he's wrong because he could be there for the kids because he don't know how to be there for her anymore. He don't know what's going on with her. So you know what? I don't know I don't know how to treat or help my wife. So let me just be here for my kids. At least I can be here for my kids and stick around to raise my kids. You understand? Like
No,
I don't know.
that's
I don't know
good.
what's going on with my wife. I don't know how to help her. She said she's tired of life. She doesn't want to live anymore. I don't know what I'm doing to fix that situation. So I'm just gonna take care of my offspring. I'm gonna be here for my children.
Right.
'Cause
I hope he's saying it that
I'm
way.
hoping,
that's what
and
I would
not he's
think.
just there because
Because he might be saying
you
it
know,
like mad as
she's
hell.
not-
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm
I
just
think
there for
there's
my
too many
kids. I don't, I'm not,
variables
you
to
know.
even be able to,
They might need some
have
counseling
a
going on or
significant
something.
answer
Maybe
to
if they're
that.
married,
There's too
you
much
know.
information left out.
yeah.
And
Yes.
Star was
You
just
know?
gonna say
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
That was
they
gonna
need
be
some
my
counseling.
feedback.
There's some counseling probably needs to be going on.
If
there,
he really cared
if
about
they're
the
married.
relationship, he would have been like, "Hey, baby, you know,
We need to-
I'm feeling there's some sort of disconnect. I found therapist, doctor, blah blah blah.
Right.
I made an appointment with us, and we're gonna go together."
Maybe he did
Be
But the other person
proactive,
has
be
to agree.
proactive.
Right.
but if you're a person who don't
Because a
believe
man-
that,
My fault.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, like he pointed out, like maybe he has an ex. I feel like, especially if you have kids with somebody and you're continually been with them, I feel like there's a certain level of responsibility to make sure that person is okay. And I think, all of our
Yeah,
friends
yeah.
before
That
that.
person is okay
If-
when it's only about the kid, not the person.
No. But what I'm saying is,
No, that's
that's
not-
not an immediate reaction. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
Something
something
that
that
happened over
time
time.
to get to that
Right.
point.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for him
Maybe
to
he
say
did
that.
that. Maybe he took all those steps, and maybe he,
Her well-being
as a
gonna be
human,
big
he's
too,
like, "Yo, this, I have my needs also,
Exactly.
you know, and I love you, or I loved you at a time, but with all the help that I'm." You know, then comes to a certain time when you gotta say this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's
And the priority
Yeah.
shifts.
That's
So
my
to the
point.
kid.
Right.
Then the priority totally shifts. It shifts from
Right.
all right, now it shifts to responsibility. Because
Exactly.
Right.
remember, men, pride the thinking process, it automatically goes to responsibility. So now he's telling her, like, you lucky, yo, because the only reason why I'm here is for the kids. Now, that's not going to help
That's a
her.
wrong reason
No,
either.
yeah, you
That's
can't
not
say
going to
that.
help her.
Right.
She's not going to feel no better off that. That's a
I know,
fact.
I know.
But at the end of the day, as a man, I told y'all, when our feelings is hurt and our self-esteem is only two ways we can respond. Physically or sexually. A lot of times, the whole mental thing that we go through, we verbally express anger. Because we already feel defeated.
Yeah.
But what man would probably gonna come up and tell you, you know what? Basically, yo, the way you feel about life has me feeling like I really want to slip my wrist. A man not gonna come up to you and say that because you know now, because then that woman might feel worse. Because I know a woman, I know for a man, this is a freaking fact. Men commit way more suicides than women.
Yeah.
And the reason why they do that is based on the pressure that lies on them when they least expect it. A man will come home, and excuse my language, but I'm going to say this because it's the truth. A white man will come home, he'll lose his job, he'll lose everything, he'll come home, he'll kill everybody. Right? A black man lose it, the first thing he'll do, if he lose it all and everything is gone and everything not going right, he going to kill himself. He not even going to think about everybody else. First thing he gonna think they all better off without me.
Yep, that's a fact.
So in this particular situation, when a woman writes in and says she needs help, that's automatically saying to herself she recognizes that how she feels is not.
Oh, it's a cry for
Cool.
help.
It's a cry for help.
Definitely.
And for her to write into our show is really weird to me because like I said, we only can give our opinion. We're no experts.
Right.
But the good thing about y'all today, and God always has a way of working things out. He has multiple couples here who have multiple different angles of how they have to maneuver, which you guys are able to give them that particular wisdom and say, hey, we ain't get to that part yet, but we have to get to a part where we all give a bottom line as if this person was standing in front of you, this lady came to you, or any of y'all and said this in front of y'all, what would you say to this person? Because at the bottom line, we could talk about the dude all day long, but the dude ain't right then.
I got my bottom line already. Right
You got your bottom line?
Yeah.
So we're going to go around, and I want every one of y'all, one at a time, y'all got to give me a bottom line. If this person was standing in front of you, and she gave you this scenario, what would you say to her?
What happened to the point where you stopped loving yourself?
Bang. Bang. I was waiting on somebody to talk about that particular part. How do you feel about yourself?
Because if
That's
you
what
don't
made-
love yourself, you can't
Can't
love
love
your
life.
husband, you can't love your kids, you can't
exactly
enjoy,
my
you
point.
can't do anything.
See, that's
That
what
was
I
gonna
was
be
say,
mine.
though. Cause that's
Letting her know.
you know what I mean.
That's a fact. That was gonna be mine.
If you don't love yourself,
Like, at the end of the day,
Right.
baby girl, I'm gonna tell her, you gotta learn to love yourself.
right.
Over the kids, the
Right.
husband, the boyfriend, whatever. You gotta
Love
focus
yourself.
on self.
wow.
Because if you don't focus on self, everything else
Feel
gonna
like
fall.
Everything else felt.
She says she did what is it that she's fed up with life.
Yeah, she said she does with life.
Turned off.
Turned off
Keyword
with
was
life.
Turned off with life. So
Life
when you let
comes
go of
with
life, then yourself.
Yourself.
Right.
This is my life.
Right.
That's
Before
a
anything,
fact.
before I can even tell my kids whatever, or my husband, or my man, my wife, this is my life.
You gotta. So you.
I gotta get control of this.
There it is. So control of your life. You basically were saying you gotta love yourself, control of your life. What you think?
You know me, I always go like super.
Come on, let's go.
There's
We
just
they
a
need
lot-
it.
There's just a lot that I have in my mind simply because there's always a root cause. And so, like, I agree with what you were saying. At what point made you stop that? Was it maybe a conversation with your husband, maybe your children? Like, we don't know. And so you definitely have to find yourself. But always remember that there's a purpose for you when you have children that are looking up to you. So you became a mother. That's your responsibility. Also, if the relationship that you're with your husband is no longer a functioning relationship where you feel like you're receiving the support you need, then it's time to cut ties. Regardless
Wow.
of how much you love him,
So you.
it's time to flock your wings and find someone who's going to really love you from a deeper point and to understand. Because guess what? Let's say, heaven forbid, an accident happened today to your husband and his member no longer work. Guess what? He's not going to get sex regardless. So it shouldn't always be about sex, but more about the bigger picture.
But you know what? I don't think it's really about sex. I think physically turned off means affection, emotions. I think it doesn't really just have to deal with sex. I think it's everything. Because men like to feel wanted. Like we like when y'all lay up on us or cuddle
Nah,
up on us.
I
You don't?
disagree. I disagree.
I do. I love it.
No. I agree with you, but I think we just have a different view on it, right?
As far
A
as-
man wants to feel needed.
You right?
A female wants to feel wanted.
Yeah,
Right? A female has to feel wanted. A man has to feel needed.
Like you need.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you need
We say that as men because it's easy, because that's more pride and that's more ego saying that. But for us, we like to feel both. Because think about it. If you want to feel wanted, if you felt like you wanted to be wanted, most men would be in that motherfucking gym. You know why? Because they will make sure that they whole outside, complete, mental, everything is on point. Most men are not in there. But to feel to be needed, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so if you want to be both. So, I don't know. But for me as a man, I think I need a little bit of both.
But just
You just greedy.
For me?
Yeah, you just
Oh!
greedy.
I think I need a little bit of both. I think if my woman said, if my woman said,
It
yo,
go both ways, cause my wife go through it like I think she want to be needed and.
and one, yeah, I think it's just a little bit of both. But I understand where you're coming from.
King, oh my goodness.
It's LED though, so we good.
Did he do that?
It ain't light bulbs. I think he did, but it's okay. He didn't mean
King,
it.
sit down.
He didn't mean it. He didn't
You
mean it.
didn't mean it. You good, son? Don't worry about it. It's alright. It's all good.
How did
I
that
expect you. I'm gonna
happen?
edit all that
I'm
out.
gonna keep it in.
Yeah, I might keep it. I might keep it all in.
Right, we here with it, bro.
He already walked in.
Yeah.
He already
Do
walked
not
in. It's
keep it
11
his word.
o'clock.
I'm trying to have Ruben charges for nothing.
No, but that's LED, so it ain't
That don't
great.
matter.
I'm just making sure.
That's equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
Oh,
So-
you gotta edit that.
Yeah,
out.
I'm gonna have to edit all that out. Let me take a few minutes. Yessie about to take all that out. Thank you, Yessie. Appreciate you. In the middle of taping. But, so, Stars, I need you. Bottom line.
It does go back to what she said. Where did she go wrong with her? It's not just with herself though, because it depends if they're married. If they're
Right,
married,
it is
they're
specified
boyfriend,
that.
girlfriend, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Where did they go wrong? Like I'm gonna say, where did she go wrong? Where did they go wrong? Because if they're married, then you're a whole. So where did they go wrong? Where she's not feeling, she doesn't. What was her keyword? She said she was turned off with
life. Mhm.
So if she's turned off with life, how I'm taking it, I would probably ask her. Life to me means you turn up with everything. So you're not. It's not just your husband.
It's
not
everything.
Just your
Yeah,
relationship.
that's a fact.
It's
Yeah.
as a whole, everything. So, is it your life that your life changed, where you're turned off with everything? Something happened. Did you have your kids turned you off because you didn't have kids now, so you gained some weight? You got married, so you know you're no longer this single girl that can go out and hang out, or whatever it was that maybe it could be her finances. Did she go down in finances, or whatever in her life? Because she's turned off with life. So she's turned off with her life, apparently, then it's affecting her relationship now.
That's a fact.
So I can understand she being turned off, with him, and then he's feeling a certain way now because she's turned off with everything, so they maybe not intimate anymore.
So that's
I've kind of been in that situation a little bit. If things aren't going right, I get turned off. I don't want to even have sex.
That's how I am.
Especially
too.
if my money's not right, I don't you touch me.
That's how I
Don't
am.
you touch
too.
me, because I need now. If my money is flourishing and everything is good, then I'm the happiest person, and I want to be all lovey-dovey.
Right.
When things are not right,
You don't wanna
financially
be.
for me,
You don't feel
I
right.
See, you
I
know
don't
what?
feel right.
You know
I
what?
can't really function too well. I still have to be a mother.
You still have
Like,
to do
I
all
have
that
to be a
stuff,
mother.
but it's like
I have to be a wife.
physically.
I have to, provide. I have to clean. I have to cook. I have to do these things. I have to go to work. I have to bring home the money. But what about me? What about my feelings? What about me?
Right.
So sometimes I get
girl.
overwhelmed,
Mhm.
and it does affect in my relationship, because now I don't want to really be so. Because I'm not feeling so right now. I'm feeling like I'm overwhelmed so much on me. I just don't,
You feel
so,
disappointed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Disappointed in yourself.
Well, I still. Okay, so I'm coming. So what I'm thinking is, when it comes to that though, y'all, I feel where you coming from, and I do, and I respect it, because you right, y'all do have a way that y'all feel about that. But it goes back to what he was saying earlier. If we let everything that happens to us affect us, then there's really no way we can break the chain. No, I'm saying, because
Sir.
if you no, seriously, because at some point in time, where does faith come in at? You know, you gotta have faith. No. I'm saying in the sense of you saying to yourself, like, yo, if things ain't going right for me, I don't feel right. So then that means that do you believe things are gonna be right for you or not, just because they're not right at the moment, or are you only looking at the way you are right now?
But that's only a temporary feeling. It's not like
Which
it's something
one?
what you just mentioned, with regards to us feeling down or disappointed.
Oh no, yeah,
temporary.
that's
so we
that's
still
a
have
respect.
faith, or
No,
else
no,
we would
that's
have
a
been
fact.
chopped our heads off. And be
Oh
like,
yeah.
whatever, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
you're right about that. That's a fact. But what I'm saying to you is that in this particular relationship, because this is what we talking about, right? I don't know, because they never specify how long he tried to change it or tried to work it out or
There might
tried
not
to
be
go
no,
around
there might
it.
not be no faith because
We don't
probably
know.
when she's frustrated with
Right.
Life.
Life
So
is a
at that
big
particular point in
pie.
time, it's nothing
Yeah.
he could, I mean, my personal thing, I don't think it's nothing he could do. Because she's turned off with life. She didn't say I'm turned off with
with
him.
him.
Hell yeah.
Right.
She said I'm turned off with life.
Life.
I don't
But
think it's nothing he
he's
can do.
part of her life, though.
No.
He's a piece of her
He's
life.
part of her life, baby. But you got to remember this too. Being a part of somebody's life, you're not their life. Like you got to realize that one. At some point in time, you got to take responsibility for yourself. You can have a partner, but you got to take responsibility for your part. You know what I'm saying? In life, you can't just sit up here and be blaming the other person just because y'all together all
But
the
it's not
time.
about blame, baby. But
No,
if
not
somebody
you.
is depressed, like you were mentioning earlier, Rich, that's where your partner comes in to say, "Hey, I want to help
But he
you
can't.
out."
Think about it. He can't. How many times have we, our
What's the point
parents,
of having
think
a partner
about
if they
growing
can't
up.
help you out?
Well, it's the same way of having a parent. Think about growing up. How often did you go through something and your parent was able to help you? It's not very often because we were talking about it earlier. Like our parents did a good job of providing, but they didn't do a good job of teaching us how to make it work past them. So it's the same thing to go with your parents. Like we all could go to a person that we feel like that we could go get some advice from, but we can't give advice from everything that we need in life. Like how, based on all of us in here being entrepreneurs, you know what's going to happen with our children? We'll be able to give them advice on every basic fashion of life. You know why? Because not only are we going through the things that we have to go through to survive, we're also going through the things that we have to do to create how to survive. Our parents didn't do that.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? So when I was thinking about how do we break the chain, we can't break the chain if we don't take responsibility for ourselves. He can't help her. Only reason why I'm saying that is because she's not turned off with him. She's turned off with the whole concept of life.
So she
That's
needs,
almost
she
like
don't need to be
suicidal
writing
to
into
me.
you. She needs to be writing to a shrink or
psychologist.
you know,
Right?
someone else.
I
who
think
can
the only
really
reason why she wrote in is because
medically,
people like
you know,
y'all.
diagnose her or whatever.
But see, I think that's the only thing. People like y'all got the experience.
But she wanted someone on a neutral level.
Exactly.
That wasn't going to judge her.
Exactly. And then, you know, she didn't, you know, because I don't never get a person's name out because
No, you're
people
not
go
supposed
look
to.
up people.
Yeah, you can't
They
do
go
that.
look up people. But for,
Well, she's gonna see this.
yeah, sure, because she wrote in, she saw other stuff.
Get help. Don't be afraid. Don't fall into the whole stigma that getting help is bad.
Yeah.
Get your help.
I agree.
All right.
And communicate.
But you have
That's
to communicate
open
with
lines of
yourself first.
communication.
You have to realize that there's a problem. There's something ongoing within you. It may not be anybody else's fault. It may not be your fault, but you still have to seek help.
But you
You
gotta
have to
get
seek
help.
professional help. Because you can listen to this podcast, you can watch it, but we're not professionals, so we can't give you professional advice. But the best advice that we can give you from heart to heart is for you to seek help.
Facts.
Get real with yourself. And then we didn't get Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon B, we need your bottom line, baby.
My bottom line, I think, personally, I feel like everything we're talking about really stems from one thing, and that's purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, anybody who has a purpose, it's hard to take somebody out who knows what their purpose is.
Ooh.
Because they're walking in and every day, they know where their energy is directed to, 100%. And it's hard to stop them. And for the person who wrote in, there was a point where you weren't feeling this way. There was a point where you had kids, so there was a point where you felt things, you know what I'm saying?
Everything was
There a point where
okay. Well, you know.
so
you
let's not forget, let's not think just because you're in this state now that this is a forever thing. So let's kill that right now. So understand that just because you feel this way doesn't mean that it's permanent. It's a temporary thing if you work on it. And my point would be to really take some time, obviously to get help, but use that time too to figure out what it is that purpose is for you. Because if you're able to find and target what that is, you'll jump out that depressive feeling that you're in ridiculously faster because you have a sense of direction. You know what you're there to do. You know what your purpose is.
So find your
And
purpose.
you don't have time to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to disregard how you're feeling because I understand. I have family members who same thing, so I understand it. But when you have a goal, like a purpose, like those other
Gives
things
you a
just have a way of falling
Falling away?
You know what I
When
mean?
you start feeling good about yourself,
Exactly.
your endorphins, they just run rapid, and you feel great about yourself when you have a purpose.
That's a fact. I think that's a fact.
And it's gonna take some time. It's not something that's gonna come to you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But as you're growing and acknowledge, you obviously acknowledge the fact that you feel this way, and that's the first step. Now it's working out the hole. You know you're in the hole, so let's take steps to work out and be patient with yourself while you're going through that.
Right. So, well, so only thing I could say is that for you that's watching, I don't know, King, you got something to say? Huh? You got something to say? You tired? Alright, so look, we got, I just want to tell you that are watching, if this is you or anybody else dealing with that, like we all said here, I think the main thing that we all figured out is that you do need some professional help. Because like I said, the disclaimer is that we can't give you professional help. But if you take anything away from everything that everybody said who are actually in relationships and who have dealt with things similar to you, the one thing that I think the bottom line is that everybody can agree on is that you have to find out what made you feel the way that you feel about you. It has nothing to do with your man. He can say all the other stuff he said, and it's easy for us to say because you're the one that has to deal with it. But he's saying certain things, he's only reacting. You understand what I'm saying? He don't technically understand where you're coming from because I don't think you really explain it to him the way that you feel because you may not know. But the bottom line is that we feel like you are just as important as everybody else in that particular home or relationship or whatever. You have to focus on you. It may sound a little selfish. And I know in life we're told that we are not supposed to be that way, especially when you have other people that you have to, fend for and provide for. But at some point in time, you have to take accountability for you and do exactly what you can to help yourself. I hope that helped you. But if not, please seek some professional. Oh yeah. So we gotta get your Keys. What is that? Everything they can find?
That's everything.
All right,
That's
Keys. Where they can find you at, baby?
I got Abnormal Fitness. If you're tired of being normal, just holler at me. You can be abnormal. Abnormal Fitness on IG.
There it is.
Dope.
And y'all know where to find me, man.
Yo,
We
I'm
right
saying,
here.
hold on.
Uh-oh.
You think I can get to your level though?
That's
Hold
a
on,
fact.
I gotta put like 2 of these for like the one. Though.
That's a fact.
You can get there, right? So y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all follow me everywhere. Y'all already know this is Sparking Conversation. You can get all the information about everything else we have going on right here. I want to make sure that y'all check us out every first and third Thursday at Red Monkey. I host a karaoke night out there. It's one of the dopest in the city. It's really fun and funny. I'm not, really funny, but it's really dope. So if y'all ever in the North Carolina, Raleigh area, and we have a whole lot of things going on. So I want to give a big shout out. Give a big shout out to my mini-me over there. If y'all been hearing any type of voices in the background, that's because that's who's here. And he run everything when it comes down to being on daddy duty. Only thing is that you gotta work, still gotta work. I'm trying to be an example
He on that
to my little one.
Flawlessly though.
Yeah, he's on it. Hopefully he'll pass right on out later. But yo, again, I like to thank all my guests, man, for coming on, y'all. And I like to thank all of y'all for watching. Y'all know what this is, man. One thing I like to say to everybody, if you don't know nothing else, they say our people perish from the lack of knowledge. No matter what a person tells you, if there's a means for you to investigate it or find out for yourself, go do it. We talk about the plant here. We talk about this plant here because with depression, anxiety, and all these other things that we talk about, sometimes you do need something to help you not really care about what you're going through right at the moment. So these is why these products are one of the things that we promote the most because this is not a product that gets you high. This is a product that makes you feel better. It's medicine. We all know that the biggest drug dealers in the world are not the people that we watch on all these shows and all these other things. It's the person you go see and you give that co-payment to that has that lab coat on and that stethoscope. They're the biggest drug dealers in America and they're killing more people than any drug dealer you know, the Nino Browns and everybody else in the world don't even immense to the amount of money or the amount of deaths caused by the people who write these prescriptions each and every day. So, with that being said, there's no way that you should not know about what is out there that God put on the earth for us to have and to help us. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of the things that we don't do is because we believe the person that slaved us is going to save us. I don't know why. Okay? That's not going to happen. The person that slaved you is not going to save you. So in that case, you have to figure out the way that people survived all these years before this whole pharmaceutical thing took over the way that it did. And if we survive millions of years based off what the earth has given us, then we should figure out a way that we can do this on our own. All right? So that's my word for the day. This is my team. This is my crew. Make sure y'all follow each and every person up here. And until next time, y'all, sparking conversation, y'all, we get up.
Yes.
I took a sip of